The topic of the video today is how the village girls are managing international dating to their profit. Stay tuned. So I was in a big city, I liked her and she liked me. So that was a match on the dating site application. And I engaged in the conversation because she was located in the city where I was at this exact moment. So I thought, okay, it would be nice, maybe we can meet and we can know each other better. That's how it works usually. But I couldn't retrieve the exact location where she was. I mean, she was not in the city. And she finally admitted that she was living far away, a few hundred kilometers away from where I was. So I offered a second option because for 2 days or 3 days I was having a trip in a second city, but she was still not there. My decision was really to drop this woman because I was in her country and couldn't meet her. It makes no sense, in my opinion, to go in a remote location. And she didn't tell me exact location. She told me that it is a small village. So a small village, I will make the translation for you. It's maybe, in the best case, a city of 10, 20 or 30,000 people. Or maybe this is just a rural village, few dozen or few hundred people in the wild, in the bush. No way I would like to go there, and I decided to drop the case, but at the last moment I changed my opinion. But first we have to define a profile, because we don't talk about very young women in their 20s, we talk about a woman in her late 40s. Late 40s with a young child. Okay, not so young, it's not a baby, but around 10 years. You will have to manage this boy for probably at least 10 years. In those villages, what is the chance of a woman in her late 40s, even if she looks pretty, but her chances, and additionally with a quite young child, are almost non-existent in such area. Now, how can she transform, I would say, like a defeat? Because the guy in Kiev, why they need to date a woman 400 kilometers away? They have around the capital a lot of women to meet, and very beautiful women. They don't need a woman in their late 40s with a child, and they will not go in this countryside to date. And now the option she has is to date a foreigner. I want you to understand this 100% crystal clear. And how is she doing this? Initially, she wanted to start a connection with me. What is her strategy and what is her tactical move? Simply, she starts communication with men. Emotionally, of course, they start to invest on this woman, and they will make the move. So I didn't, in fact, finally drop this woman. I just started to have a communication in a friendly way and to exchange information, but both way. I mean that I also will help her, and I also already did some recommendation, because of course she don't know Europe, she don't know a lot of country and what could happen, and I wish her good luck, of course. So we started to communicate without any mask, and she told me that she was already communicating with men from 4 countries. I was the 5th. You will say, okay, how it is possible? Thanks to the translator tools, because she, in my opinion, she don't speak any English, or maybe a little, maybe 10, 30 or 100 words maximum. She can do this with translation. You will say, oh, this miracle is possible because there are some guy from the other continent. And due to the jet lag, it's very difficult when she is sleeping, the guy awake and so on. Because, I will explain you. Here in Ukraine, I go in a lot of supermarkets, there are a lot of shops everywhere. And yes, it's true that women here are working very hard, 50, 60, 70 hours. But Among them, there are a lot who are in shops. And when the shops haven't any clients, what they do? Nothing. They have nothing to do. They are on their mobile phone, and they are just typing and looking. I don't know what they are watching. Of course, if she has such type of job like saleswoman, for example, she has a lot of time to communicate with you. And in the end, we have spoken about 4 countries. We don't know how many men in each, but at least it was 4. So she's managing between probably 5 and 10 men in the same time. Or a woman from the scratch seems to have no cards in the hand can manage to advantage such a game. Of course, she did some nice photo with a pro, 100%. That is her investment. And now she don't say where she is. And the guy who have no idea about the geography, they don't care about this. It's good for her. It's good for her, but it's not good for you. You are the man, I'm the man. The channel is about men, and I'm here to help you and to advise you. What is your interest? What is her interest? Is your interest is the same as her? Not sure. I don't agree about this. So she's managing between 5 and 10 men, and when you are emotionally committed, you are ready to go. And I have asked, has the man has visited you already? And she told me yes. I will tell you the truth. And the truth is very simple. Maybe it didn't work. Maybe she disliked him. Maybe he disliked her. We don't know. Maybe they are still in communication. But one thing is sure. Even if they are still in communication, she's still managing at least 5 men. So I would say, bravo. I would say to this woman, yes, she's managing things well. She has not a lot of cards in her hand, but she's doing well. And a guy already came to visit her. But is this to the advantage of the man? No. And absolutely no. Is this yes win? I don't think so. I think it is the advantage of the woman. And the man has many cards in his hand, but he didn't play it correctly. Because maybe he wrote many, but he visited one. I'm pretty sure of this. At her age, she is not a player in the sense that she is not a young girl of 20 playing with Instagram and having hundreds of thousands of followers and going in all over the places, the funny places where you party, you know. But that is the next point. She told me, now I would like to go and to visit the other men. Translation. It means that the guy are paying or will pay for the travel, 100%. If she lives in such little village, she has not the money to afford such type of travel, and especially if it's an intercontinental flight. Who will pay? The man, you. So now she will make the move, and if the guy don't know, he will have to apply the dating rules, and those dating rules are the Russian, Belarus or Ukrainian dating rules that the men pay for all. That's simple. You need to remember this always and always and always and forever. She can visit every man, and so now I would say again, is this a win-win game? And my answer is a clear no. What happened? If you go in a city, in a village, you now are guessing that there are so other guy in the row and you are one of them. So she dates at home and she's just waiting that you come back and forth, and that's very easy. And the problem is the men have only one choice because he's making a visit one, because there are no chance that he will find a woman in the surrounding of this little village, because this is the holy center shit of the world. Option 2. You invite her and you pay for everything. The risk is on your shoulder because you will have likely to take some vacation, at least few days, to welcome her. And I hope that you will do such a thing. But what will happen? A Ukrainian woman, Belarus or Russian woman can perfectly manage you for days, and you will not touch her. You will not make a move. Of course, she takes some risk because she can be with some weirdo who will be not happy with this situation, and that gives some little tension. But she made a try. She traveled for free, almost for free. And now with the youngest, that's the problem with the youngest, because the youngest, or even her, she can like you and have a night or several nights with you, but she will be not serious because she will consider that you are not a challenger for a long-term relationship and a marriage. But if she likes you, she can have physical connection and intimacy. But you will go nowhere. And then for the youngest, you will provide many photos for an Instagram account. That will bring her more followers. That will raise her price on the dating market. And who pay for this? You. You pay for this. You are just supplying and providing to upgrade our status on the international dating market. And all of this, guy, I'm damn serious about this. You should avoid to play the guy who paid the travel, and you have to put your ass in a plane and go to Ukraine. Play correctly the game, please. Because why? So I will explain you why. Do you understand that when you afford such travel, when you go to make a visit one, she has still in the row 5, 10 or maybe more, because she can renew as much as she wants to complete her list. She can play the game as she wants, and you are only like a fish in the pond. If you look at tactically, strategically, she had almost no card in the hand. That's a fact. But now she has reversed the situation. The man should lead, and you should lead your dating. You should lead your dating life, really. And to get out from the traditional and usual path, I go to meet her, I invite her to come to my place. So you see the consequences, border effect of such type of, because you bring not a lot of value to your destiny, but you bring a lot of value to her destiny. And she plays this, I would say, smartly. No, really. And I don't speak about her. I suppose that she's a classic woman, and she dreams to be happily married with a man. I want to focus about her 2 minutes to tell you what's going on. She simply, and that's for sure, wants to leave Ukraine. She had probably a better life. It's not probably, it's surely she had a better life in Kiev, and now she understood that she has almost no future in such village, because the wages in such village is very likely around $100 to $200. Her child will have no special future. Of course, there are some exceptions, but to be frank, I already met some women who have struggled for 10 years to land on a big city, and she couldn't achieve such success. I spent several days with her. She was speaking perfect English, and we talked about this. And finally, what happened? She landed on a little city of 30,000 people, and her parents gave her an apartment. Her parents were quite poor, I would say. And she found out a job in the city hall, and she was happy with her life because having this apartment and having a little wage, she could have not a nice life, but a normal life. So that is what happened in Ukraine. So can you blame this woman to want to find another country with her child? I would say no. I respect the destiny of everyone. But what is interesting me is, how can you better play your cards, guy? Because you have big cards, and in the end, Uh, yeah, that's a mess. Sorry, but that's a mess. So when you invite her to your country, she can say to any other guy, if she cannot maintain the level of communication, you know, I am going to my sister's place in another city, or I am going to the to the countryside. She's already in the countryside, but she's going to a more widest place where she has no or little internet. And during this time, she can maintain all the other guy while she's spending real time with the challenger. You just help her to maintain such a thing. And if you go to a country first, you will discover after 1 week that she don't have a local lover, because we don't speak about this one, the local lover. And maybe she has one, or she has just a guy who just comes to have some physical activity in a bed, you know. And so, of course, when you go in the country, and especially if you go for 2 weeks, it's unlikely that she can maintain a relationship with a real boyfriend here. And when you will be there, you will start to have an idea, if you are just watching carefully what's happening, if there are some other guy in the row. Okay, I cannot say bad thing about her if she's playing with multiple guys, but really, if you are investing emotionally, and if you are planning a trip that will cost you $3,000, $4,000 or $5,000, while this woman is still maintaining a pool, because this is the reality, this is true, of 5 or 10 men, and she can easily, if one is exiting, to renew and bringing 1 or 2 more. Really, it's so unfair for you in the sense that you normally own the cards in your hand. So that's what my video is intended to tell you, real example about what is happening, and you should manage things other way. And internet, in my opinion, is starting to screw up this lovely place that Ukraine was, and probably still is, because there are many nice women still here. But my last experiences in this dating market is that the women are more and more spoiled. And why they are more and more spoiled is because many guys don't play their cards wisely. And in this example, we can see that the woman play it very, very wisely. So guys, I beg you, really, I beg you to play wisely your cards, start to elevate you and to have a better overview and side view about what's going on, because those women most of the time are smarter than you and play and really up a game than you have. I don't care about who is right, who is wrong, who should be this, who should do this. I don't care about this. I just say, you are men, you can have some better result. I beg you to reconsider strategically your dating, and I beg you to tactically change the things that you are used to do. You can reverse this to your profit, because you don't have understanding about what's going on the woman's side. She's not necessary, and she's surely not a green card keeper, but she's totally goal-oriented. She is playing her last cards to emigrate, because this is almost the ultimate solution for her to have another life. I want you to understand this crystal clear. Her chance to rebound around the place she's living are almost zero. Maybe she can find a man locally, but it's not what she's expecting for. Okay, you could find this video a little offending. No offense intended here, please. But what I find quite offending, and I would say the word arrogant, The fact is, this woman write me, I would like to go to meet the other guy. She wrote exactly something like, I want to go to the other. So to go to the other, it's a movement from her countryside to the guy. And that's very arrogant. All the local who know her, women or men, hearing this will just laugh. Why? Because she has divorced and she went from a big city to the countryside. But why? Because she couldn't afford a renting in the capital. And now she wants to go to the other, but by which result? Because she don't have the means. That's very arrogant. The answer is very simple, because men will afford the travel. And I found this, excuse me, but I found this arrogant from a woman who don't have such means. I wanted to push you a little out from your comfort zone to start to ask you specific questions. Because this is international dating, that's not local dating. Drop in the commentary section what you think. If you have already tried to invite some foreigners, Ukrainian woman, Belarus or Russian woman, in your country, what happened really? I am interested in your experience. Write it in the commentary below. Thank you, guys.